The Constitution of Guyana is the highest governing document in the Republic of Guyana. It officially came into effect on October 6, 1980. However, it was not Guyana's first constitution. Previous to this current one, Guyana had a different constitution prior to 1966. But the 1980 constitution has been the biggest problem. David Granger said, "We can't cut and paste the constitution to make it better."
I think we should stop patching and talking about what happened in 1966. Those days we had a Governor General. In 1966 and 1970 we had a president for the first time. The president was more or less given the same powers as the Governor General. That is to say, he had to act only on the advice of the cabinet, and it meant too that the Prime Minister at that time was head of government, and he was actually in the National Assembly.
Now the question as to how Guyana will deal with the minority government is still to be considered by politicians and those of the judiciary. Granger seems to have an idea as how best law and policymakers can get the job done.
There are lots of constitutional models around the world, and we need to look at all of them. One of the big problems that arose over the last 3 years is the question of minority government. In Suriname, no single party, I believe, has a minority. In Germany, no single party has a minority. But there are constitutional provisions which facilitate multi-party government. So we need to look at those things. It's not a matter of who's president alone. We're looking at how the country is to be governed.
Granger further stated that we need to go back to the citizens of Guyana and ask them what they need. But when the question of referendum came up, this is what Granger said.
If necessary, I believe the constitutional situation in which we find ourselves at present is so grave. In fact, the Parliament has not met to deliberate on issues of public interest since July. I think that is a huge constitutional problem for us, and I would feel a referendum would be justified. So we mustn't assume that it's just a matter of cut and paste. The cut and paste constitution thing doesn't work.
The 1980 constitution provided for the concentration of power in the possession of the executive president and created party control over the people. The opposition leader is hoping to change all of that and put the power back into the hands of the people with his APNU government. Andrew Weeks, HGP Nightly News.